Okay, so here we go. So Mattel and you log in. So you want to go ahead and log in?
Sure.
Okay. So when you go into My Groups, you will see your advisory, which is in your homeroom, and then mathematics, 2 of them, and 2 science.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have to post homework on here.
Okay.
And in addition to having them write it in their agenda. So when you go into, and I don't know, since I've only had to post it for a homeroom. I don't think there's a way for you to post it at the same time, but
yeah,
we'll ask saying. About
sure.
that. And so you go into assignments and you add new. And next. Oh wait, look, 2 and 4, yes, so you can do it for both. Yay!
No, that's awesome.
Hallelujah. All right, so there they are. Next. And then you can type in a brief description and type. So it can just be homework if you want to keep it simple. Homework. And then I don't think you have to assign grades unless you're going to, what you've assigned is going to be something that you're going to grade and put into the grade book.
Yeah, like a quiz or a project or
right,
something.
but most homework
no
is not going to be graded per
I
se.
didn't think so.
You know, it'll be graded to look at, but not to give a letter grade. So hey, Andrew.
Hello.
We're doing Camtasia, so we'll pause recording.
Hi.
Hi. Say hi. Hey. So add new.
Yep.
There they are, both of them.
Wait, actually, I want to say one thing before you do this. Can you hit back? When I do this as math teacher, I always change that number of assignments.
2.
Well, generally I will do either I was doing a week at a time or I was doing a unit at a time. Like if I have to go back and change the dates because something happens, that's a small price to pay for the number of clicks you save by being able to do 6 or 8 assignments at once. So if you choose even just 2 for this demo.
Oh, you can actually then put 2 assignments in.
Yeah.
Or for the week.
Ooh,
yeah, so hit next.
nice.
One of the other things about that is that it trims all of the stuff. This is the quick add view, and it takes off everything that's essentially superfluous. Like you can't add links. You can't add downloads, but when I was doing like really traditional math homework, like 2 through 35 every, 255 characters was plenty of space for that sort of thing. Again, what would fit in the box of your planner? You can choose the type, and these types are things that we use for organization in our gradebook, but they don't have any meaning other than the meaning we assign to them.
Yeah.
Like if you made every homework assignment called field trip, it would be strange and we would wonder about you. But aside from that, like it could mathematically work. There's no meaning implied in that.
Okay.
The gradebook abbreviation is really like the column view in gradebook is pretty narrow, and so you got to think like what are the 4 or 5 letters that I'm going to see at the top of that column and know what I am. You can always mouse over it and you'll get the full description of it. But like so sometimes I'll do like C1, H1, HC1, H2, C1, H3 to like,
chapter,
whatever my homework thing is. Or if I have like a project, or those are my abbreviations.
Okay, I got you.
Max points and factor is really depends on how you're doing the math of your gradebook. And I'm a math person, so I never wanted to use like their scaling things or something like that. I figured if I wanted to be worth 10 times as many points, I'd make it worth 100 instead of 10 and move on with my life. But I know some people like to do the factors.
I do maximum points 100, factor of 1.
Okay.
And then you can set up the gradebook to do categories. So if you want like 20% to be this and 40% to be that, and it'll do the scaling on the back end. You include in gradebook and you generally include in the cumulative
Even for
grade.
homework?
But what if we don't really
Yeah.
assign a
A grade
value?
Oh, then
to
that's even
homework.
better. Let's
Yeah,
take
let's-
those two off.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's only just
It's really
Because
practice.
grading homework is a punitive practice that
Exactly.
Yes.
damages.
It informs
children.
instruction.
Yeah.
Right.
It lets
Okay, cool.
the teacher know, but
Mhm.
it's not something that as a rule we assign value to in
I love
terms
you guys
of
so
grades.
So by
Good, I was getting a little
default,
worried.
it has an assigned date, which is today.
Okay.
If you are doing a whole lot ahead of time and you for some reason don't want them to be
To
all,
see it.
they don't want them to see them, you don't want to allow work aheads, you can use the little calendar to shift that.
Okay, so then they only see, even if I post 5, they only see one
They will only see
that day.
The
well,
date, the one that
they
you
will
Or
see the
whatever.
ones that are published as of whatever day it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then you can set a due date for both classes with that little do flag.
Okay.
Same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If your classes for some reason are skewed or off because of drops and doubles, that you can specify that.
Okay.
And the publish is the part. If you want it to not be visible until the assigned date, then you say don't publish it till the assigned date.
That makes sense.
The other thing that you can do is that you can put things in here through this interface that you maybe you'll never want to publish as a. You never want it to show up on the assignment channel, but you want it to show up in the gradebook. So, like if you are giving homeworks for every day, like little small bits of like discrete action, but at the end of it, you know that there's going to be an in-class project that uses all those things, but that's not something you want kids to be worrying about and preparing for. You just want them to deal with these specific concrete steps.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can put that in there, include that in the gradebook in the cumulative grade, and do all the assigned and due date stuff, and just never publish it.
Okay. So this is actually then how you put their grades in.
Also, yes.
Well,
in a
this is how you
slightly
put assignments into the gradebook.
This is all just assignments.
And
Okay.
then I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes
This
sense.
is putting the column headers
Okay.
in the gradebook.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop that recording.